So I have 1 cup of Haleem that I just soaked overnight in some water. So now, just like rice, you just want to rinse and drain it a few times just to get rid of any extra starches. Soaking them overnight also helps it become a little soft. You just want to drain the water and then kind of use your hands to, I guess, clean the Haleem wheat. Also, if you do this with rice, it's the same process. You just want to do it a couple times. And that's it. Placed the Haleem wheat in a pressure cooker, and I also added our blend of Foodjabi Haleem mix. That's actually the secret to this recipe. If you guys don't want to buy the huge pack of Haleem wheat and just have it sit in your cupboard, there's also going to be a pre-made packet that I'll be selling on the blog soon, inshallah, to come. It comes with 1 cup of Haleem wheat, our Foodjabi Laziz Asian Cuisine blend. It's in a separate packet, so you can just soak the Haleem wheat and then add this later when it comes. And it also comes with the Foodjabi Laziz Asian Cuisine Haleem spice mix that we'll be using later. Just going to parboil our meat. We have some water in a large saucepan with some salt, about a tablespoon of salt. I have some boneless beef. The reason we parboil it is to help get rid of a lot of the impurities that are found in meat. It'll help also get rid of the smell that sometimes is associated with meat or gamier meat like lamb or goat. These are beef, so it's pretty okay. I also put salt because the salt will help infuse it into the meat, so it'll add more flavor. So you can see how the layer of impurities form on top. This is when you want to close the heat and then skim the fat on the top, drain the water, and kind of rinse the meat. Now I just added the beef into the same pot, and we're going to add 11 cups of water. I don't use a liquid measuring cup, I just use a dry measuring cup. So any recipes you see liquid in a form of cup, I'm using dry measuring cups. And now after we've added the water, we're going to add our Foodjabi Laziz Asian Cuisine collaboration Haleem spice mix. Just add all of that in there, and we're going to mix it well. Now we're going to put the lid on for our pressure cooker. You want to press down on one hand and then secure it with the other. You can see how the pin popped up. So we're going to add the knob and place it on high heat. Once it starts, this little knob is going to start dancing. We're going to put a timer on for 20 minutes. In a large saucepan, I'm going to put 1/3 cup of oil. So while the Haleem is cooking in the pressure cooker, you want to make this part. And to that, I'm going to add 1 cup of diced onions. Put it on medium-high heat. And I'm also going to add 1 tablespoon of pureed ginger. You can also use fresh ginger if you have that, or ginger paste. This is what I mean when the top starts dancing like that. So at this point, you want to put the timer on for 20 minutes. Reduce the heat to medium-high. And you want to mix this well and cook until the onions are caramelized and brown. So I just turned off the heat, but this is how caramelized and brown you want it. You could go a little bit further if you want. I took about 15 minutes on medium-high heat. And after 20 minutes, you just want to turn off the heat and let the steam release naturally. You'll know when it's done when this pin goes down. Once you see that pin go down, that's when you know the pressure cooker is safe to open. So you just want to remove this. So there you go. Now once it's cooled down just a bit, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, you just want to pick out all the beef from the pot, because we're going to use an immersion blender to blend this together, and we kind of want the meat to be a little bit chunky. Now I'm just taking an immersion blender and kind of blending it until it's a puree. So now once it's a pretty smooth consistency, I took the beef and used the back of a spoon to kind of just like mush it or shred it. You can use forks. And I'm going to add this back in. Now there's two ways to do it, whatever's your preference. You can either use the immersion blender and puree it all with the beef. In that case, don't take the beef out beforehand. Or you can do what I like to do, and sometimes I like to keep it a little bit chunky. So I'm going to use the immersion blender and blend it really quick, but so there's some big pieces of meat still in the Haleem. So about 10-15 seconds. You can see that it's still a little bit chunky, but it's not like huge pieces of meat in the Haleem. Now I just put the heat on to medium-high heat. We're going to just cook it for about 5 minutes. Now I just reheated the onion oil mixture in the same pot, just fire it up so it's a little bit warm. Now I'm going to add this to the Haleem mixture. Mix this well. This adds another flavor and depth to the Haleem. Now you do want to continuously stir it here and there every 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes or so, just so it doesn't stick on the bottom. I reduced the heat to low at this point, and we want to continuously cook it until it becomes thickened to your desired consistency. And you do also want to chop up some accompaniments to the Haleem. Lemons, total must. I love lemon in my Haleem. Some peppers, some freshly sliced ginger, some cilantro. You can also add chaat masala if you want it to be a little bit more spicy.